The Learning Outcome 3.0 focuses on understanding compliance issues when sourcing from suppliers across public, private, and not-for-profit sectors. Procurement professionals must ensure sourcing activities comply with legal regulations, organizational policies, ethical standards, and sustainability requirements. This learning outcome develops awareness of the regulatory frameworks and governance principles that shape responsible sourcing decisions. Compliance is essential not only for avoiding legal and financial risks but also for protecting organizational reputation, supporting stakeholder confidence, and ensuring procurement practices contribute positively to environmental, social, and governance objectives within increasingly global and regulated supply chain environments. A key area of study within this learning outcome is the comparison of legislative, regulatory, and organizational requirements across different sectors. Learners examine how procurement compliance differs within public sector, private sector, and third sector organizations. Public sector procurement often emphasizes transparency, accountability, equality, and value for money, while private sector organizations focus more strongly on competitiveness, profitability, and shareholder value. Not-for-profit organizations prioritize mission alignment and responsible use of resources. Procurement professionals must understand these varying compliance expectations and ensure sourcing activities support sector-specific governance requirements, operational objectives, and stakeholder responsibilities while maintaining fairness, integrity, and ethical procurement standards throughout supplier engagement processes. The module also examines the growing importance of environmental, social, and governance (ESG) considerations within sourcing activities. Learners study compliance issues related to bribery, corruption, fraud, modern slavery, human rights, labor standards, and ethical business conduct. Procurement professionals are expected to integrate ESG principles into sourcing strategies, supplier evaluation processes, and contract management practices. The module highlights how responsible sourcing supports sustainable business development and reduces reputational and operational risks. Organizations increasingly expect procurement functions to ensure suppliers comply with ethical standards and sustainability commitments while supporting broader corporate social responsibility objectives across local and global supply chains. International sourcing compliance forms another major focus of Learning Outcome 3.0. Learners explore the regulatory challenges associated with importing goods and services, including customs requirements, tariffs, duties, exchange rate fluctuations, and international trade documentation. The module also introduces Incoterms, payment mechanisms such as letters of credit and bills of exchange, customs clearance procedures, and applicable law considerations. Procurement professionals involved in international sourcing must understand these legal and operational requirements to manage risks effectively and maintain compliance within cross-border procurement activities. International sourcing introduces additional complexity, making regulatory awareness and careful contract management essential for successful global supply chain operations. Another important aspect of the learning outcome is the application of responsible sourcing practices through codes of conduct, supplier monitoring, and contractual controls. Learners study how organizations apply the CIPS Code of Conduct and other governance frameworks to support ethical procurement behavior. Procurement professionals are expected to include sustainability provisions, supplier performance measures, and monitoring mechanisms within sourcing arrangements. The module demonstrates how supplier audits, dialogue, and continuous improvement initiatives help organizations evaluate supplier compliance and encourage better environmental, social, and governance performance. These practices strengthen supplier accountability and support long-term responsible sourcing objectives across procurement and supply chain functions. The learning outcome further explores organizational practices used to achieve environmental, social, and governance goals within procurement operations. Learners examine concepts such as the triple bottom line of profit, people, and planet, along with sustainability reporting frameworks and recognized ESG standards. Procurement professionals are encouraged to define value for money not only through financial savings but also through positive environmental and social outcomes. The module highlights that responsible procurement contributes to sustainable business performance, stakeholder trust, and long-term organizational resilience. Effective compliance management therefore supports ethical governance, operational continuity, and improved supplier relationships while helping organizations meet evolving sustainability expectations. Overall, Learning Outcome 3.0 of Ethical and Responsible Sourcing, L4M4, provides learners with a comprehensive understanding of compliance obligations and responsible sourcing practices within procurement and supply management. The module develops knowledge of regulatory frameworks, international sourcing requirements, ESG principles, supplier monitoring processes, and ethical governance standards. Learners gain the ability to analyze compliance risks, support sustainable sourcing decisions, and apply responsible procurement practices that align with organizational values and stakeholder expectations. By understanding compliance issues when sourcing from suppliers, procurement professionals are better prepared to strengthen governance, reduce procurement risks, support sustainability goals, and contribute strategically to ethical and resilient supply chain management.